Rodeo fans and animal welfare campaigners are at loggerheads over the future of the sport, with frustration on both sides to the point where scuffles broke out at an event in January. In 2016, a petition signed by 62,000 people calling for a ban on rodeos was delivered to Parliament, which led to a fast-tracked government report which was released last October. The Minister responsible for animal welfare, Damien O'Connor, has said he wants to see continual improvements made in rodeo events and equipment, but there are no plans to ban them. However, in a few weeks, the Green MP Gareth Hughes intends tabling a private member's bill that would ban using small calves and animal wrestling. Ultimately, he would like rodeos banned. Our reporter, Caroline Tukey, has joined the fans and talked to protesters at Martin Borough's Pukimanu bull ride.
He's relaxed at this stage, but when that latch cracks, it's going to be all action.
Rock music blared from speakers, hot dog stalls did a rip-roaring trade, and the embankments were packed with families, flannel shirts and cowboy hats at the annual Pukimanu bull ride on Friday night.
On now, Jack, get a bull ride from Masterton, ladies and gentlemen.
Bull riding events make up about half of a full rodeo, with riders trying to stay on the back of a bucking bull for 8 seconds to be eligible for points. The bulls are massive walls of muscle with 2 ropes tied around their middle, one at the front for the cowboy to hold onto and one against the back legs to produce the bucking. Staying on looks near impossible, and most riders hit the deck almost immediately, trying to quickly scramble away from the bull's feet coming down around them. Hunterville's Will Bruce was the first rider to stay the 8 seconds on Friday and came back to the pens breathing hard and grinning.
Adrenaline was about 1,000 out of 100, you know. You just got to kind of hang on for the ride, really. Obviously it's your hand that you're hanging on with, but you hang on with your knees, these big spurs we got here. As you've seen by the condition of these bulls, you know, they're nice and fit and healthy and happy. I got booted in the head at Christmas Day and opened up my ear a bit and had my knee dislocated. It's the kind of sport it's really addictive. Once you get a feel for it, you know, you just can't stop.
Keeping an eye out for the animals were 2 vets and Rodeo Cowboy Association Animal Welfare Officer Simon Tahoe, who explained what the role involves.
My job's pretty boring. 99% of us are all farming orientated people, you know, and we love our animals. So we know the value of having healthy stock, and honestly, if these things didn't enjoy what they do, they wouldn't do it.
Many of those at the rodeo come along every year.
Yeah, no, it was an awesome night tonight. Good turnout. Good for people to come out and actually see what it's about. Cows are well looked after. Everyone's enjoying themselves. Got a lot of supporters.
At the front gate, about 45 protesters were unconvinced the animals enjoyed the show as much as the fans suggested.
Rodeo is a blatant form of animal cruelty. It's really obvious that a lot of the practices are really cruel. I find it really distressing knowing that animals are undergoing such cruel treatment at the hands of humans as well. We're meant to be protectors of animals.
Gareth Hughes was at the protest and says rodeo is from the Wild West and out of step with what is acceptable on New Zealand farms.
Previously in history, things like dog fighting, cockfighting, bear baiting were all considered legitimate parts of community entertainment. And I think rodeo is coming into that category too, because we see the animal in pain, in distress. They're literally dying at these events. And I think no animal should be dying for entertainment.
Mr Hughes hopes if his bill is drawn from the ballot, he will get support from Labour, who promised before the election to review rodeo in New Zealand. For Checkpoint, ko Caroline Tukey, tēnei.